ESPN, a Sunshine State showdown in Boca today. The beach party is at full tilt outside for this rivalry game inside. It's FAU hosting the USF Bulls. Courtside alongside the coach, Tom Crean. Happy Sunday, everybody. So the USF Bulls come in first place in the conference, winners of 3 straight and 6 of their last 7, and they're led by the odds-on favorite for Player of the Year in that league, Isaiah Nelson. Isaiah
Nelson, who came up with Brian Hodgson, has done a phenomenal job this season. He can catch lobs on back cuts from the corner. He can catch lobs off the roll game. He follows up in transition and offensive rebounds at a high level. Look at this, Rich. Outside of his range, using his hands, his feet, and his length to get the boards, he's making threes. This guy plays end-to-end. He can hand it off. He can pass it. He plays.
FAU trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Got some good news this morning. Kanan Carlisle back in the lineup. The Owls have been 0-4 in league play since his calf injury, but he woke up feeling frisky and ready to go. He's in the starting lineup, as is number 11 in red, the freshman Josiah Parker, making his first start of the season. But in their slime green road unis, the Bulls control the opening tip.
This is a colorful game. There is no doubt about that.
Bulls come in on the heels of a win at Wichita State. It was their 5th road win in league play already. And one of the best shot blockers in the nation, Devin Williams, has his first block of the afternoon. Parker off the window and off the mark. And Nelson's got his first rebound. He is a walking double-double.
He really is. He just can rebound so well. He rebounds with 2 hands.
That might be a little out of his range.
And he faded on that shot. You got to get lined up, step into it.
We want to welcome in everybody who's watching us on ESPN News alongside Tom Crean. I'm Rich Hollenberg. It's a Sunshine State rivalry in the American Conference. FAU in their home Reds, it's a red out today, against the slime green USF Bulls. And the first make of the game, a 3 from number 2 in red, Isaiah Ellerby.
And a skip pass from Kanan Carlisle.
That 3 off the mark from Pinion. This is one of the most prolific offenses in the American, if not the country, in the USF Bulls.
Well, and they score so many ways, Rich. I mean, they do an unbelievable job getting to the rim. They have made more free throws in 7 games than their opponents have attempted.
Devin Williams gets his first bucket of the game. And it's an early 5-0 Owls lead. Bulls took down the Owls a couple of weeks ago in Tampa. 89-75 was the final score in that one. Another 3 off the mark. Pinion keeps it alive. Here's Wes Enos, the lefty. One of the most prolific 3-point shooters in the country, but he's off the mark on his first attempt. Pinion. He's the energy giver for this Bulls team, and he's got his first 2.
He's done such a great job. I coached against him when he was at Arkansas. His physicality now, his ability to create contact and do things like that, just so much different. He's just much more of a complete player than a 3-point shooter.
The floater from Williams, no, but he picks it up and cleans it up for his second bucket of the day.
High-level quickness, Rich. The way he rolled and got the second shot.
There's Josh Omajafo with his first bucket. A veteran playing in his 121st game as a collegiate player. Back cut, Vanterpool off the window, too strong, and the rebound to the Bulls point guard, C.J. Brown. Here's Pinion, not shy, too strong, but it's tipped in.
Well, this is such a good starting lineup for South Florida. The 60 minutes they played together in the last 7 games, they are plus 30 over their opponents as a 5-man unit.
Isaiah Ellerby, the transfer from USC, skip pass to Carlisle. They really missed Kanan this last month during the 5-game losing streak. Now Brown. This Bulls team loves to get downhill as much as they love to shoot the 3-ball.
No question about it. I mean, Brian Hodgson is outstanding, and he was like this when they were at Alabama with Nate Oates. Everybody sees the threes. It's the rim pressure they put on from the wing, from the throw ahead, and the ability to drive it. And C.J. Brown is so good at driving inside the elbow. He's recruited and brought in by Amir Abdur-Rahim, and Brian Hodgson is just doing a fantastic job developing his game.
Hodgson in his first year in Tampa, coming over from 2 years at Arkansas State. They won a Sun Belt Conference title last year, took him to the NCAA tournament, and he is one of the hottest young coaches in America right now.
Well, you can see it. Brian Hodgson is a guy, and I coached against him at Alabama. He reminded me of a story. We're both recruiting in South Carolina, actually Noah Clowney, and we started talking, and I asked him if he had an agent. And I said, if you don't, you're going to need to get one because you're going to be a head coach soon. Said he got an agent a week later. I did not know that till today. So
prophetic words from Tom Crean.
Brian Hodgson is phenomenal. And John Jacobs, I didn't know him personally or coach against him, but the job he did with Scott Drew at Baylor was phenomenal as well.
Here's Parker. Preseason freshman of the year, playing like the freshman of the year.
Well, he can do so many things. He's had 3 games of over 20. He's got the doubles in the last 7. 4 double-doubles, I believe, in the last 7 games. He is a high-level scorer who's also going to be a very good defender.
Here's Pinion. And he nearly threw it away, and he traveled instead. It's a turnover. It'll be FAU ball when we return the Owls with a 1-point lead. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Coca-Cola. Drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. ESPN. We're in Boca Raton, Florida, inside the Eleanor Baldwin Arena, or the Ellie as they call it. And Tom, it's been a tale of 2 streaks for these Owls. They won 5 in a row in conference play, followed directly by losing 5 in conference play. What's the big difference?
Big difference is Kane and Carlisle first and foremost, but they have not been as good in the second half of games. They're a -39 in those losses in the second half, and that's got to pick up.
Catch and release, Pintalon making his first appearance. Xander Pintalant, 17 in red, the 7-footer who started every game before today, has been on a little bit of a struggle bus.
Well, it is. He's fading on his shot, and that one wasn't bad, but he still falls back, and then he becomes an issue defensively. It'll be interesting to see how quick South Florida starts trying to attack him like they did when they beat them at South Florida.
Pinion, USF now 0 for 5 from beyond the arc.
They're good looks, though. They're very good looks. You're not unhappy if you're Brian Hodgson with those looks.
Now Nico Moretti, 25 in red, running the show for John Jacobs. Inside to Williams. Pintalant, good shot fake. 10 on the timer. In the corner, wide open look for Elohim, but he can't knock it down. And Omajafo comes up with the weak side rebound. C.J. Brown off the mark. It's saved out of bounds, but it's going to be FAU basketball. Damon Collins had his foot on the baseline.
Well, and one of your keys inside of this game has got to be you've got to stop the elbow drive game of South Florida, especially C.J. Brown. He is so good at it. He gets anywhere he wants to go on both of those elbows, and he's doing it already twice inside of this game, even though he hasn't had the baskets. But he did get the foul.
Cannon Carlisle with that balky calf started the game, took a seat on the bench, and now he's ready to check back in on the next whistle. And FAU's going to need him today and the rest of the season if they're going to challenge in the American. Good shot fake again. Elohim out to Vanderpool. Wing 3 off the mark. Offensive board for Williams. Vanderpool, crossover. Left hand, wild shot off the mark. Freshman Adriel Mora. And he had it blocked. This is the 9th best shot blocking team in the nation. Elohim, right back at you, says Damon Collins. End-to-end action. And Wes Enos has his first 3 and USF's first 3 of the afternoon.
Yeah, they got some penetration. They got it kicked out. Keep an eye now on Florida Atlantic. You brought up the shot fake. This is as good a shot faking team as there is in the league, and maybe one of the best in the country. It's one of the ways they can draw fouls.
So with that 3, USF is up by 2 with 13:37 to go.
As we see this right here, they're coming down. Elohim comes straight down, but Damian Collins out of nowhere comes in behind it. He slowed down. It was probably not a great choice to make the play, but it allowed Damian Collins time to get in and time it up.
Isaiah Nelson, 35 in green, set to check back in. Nice touch by Devin Vanderpool. His first 2 of the game, the leading scorer, leading rebounder for the Owls.
You're right. He's such a strong driver. He's done such a great job with his body, putting on strength. Always had the wide shoulders, but the strength has been added.
That one's off the sideboard for Enos. It's okay. He has the neon green light, as neon as their uniforms today.
Yeah, there's a lot of green lights inside this gym today.
Enos lines another one up and knocks it down.
He's just too open. You got to get a hand up. You're standing right there. He's lining it up. When you let Wes Enos get his feet set, he's such a good driver, but he's very, very comfortable knocking down threes with range.
5th in the nation in 3-point attempts, 19th in the country in 3-pointers made. Moretti out to Cannon Carlisle, and Carlisle's got his first 2 of the day.
Yeah, and you feel good if you're Cannon Carlisle. You feel even better if you're John Jacobs, because you've got your guy back that can create so many things on both ends of the floor in Cannon Carlisle.
Missed 3 of the last 4 games, only played 15 minutes in their game against East Carolina before missing the last game on the road at Rice, and that was a loss for FAU. They're going to count that last basket, a layup by Wes Enos.
Still down the elbows. We talked about it at the beginning. It's not only C.J. Brown. This team is so good at driving and attacking inside the elbow. You've got to show early help if you're Florida Atlantic, because right now they're so adept. If they get a step on you at South Florida, they are by you.
John Jacobs, the 50-year-old, in his 2nd season in Boca Raton. Longtime assistant to Scott Drew at Baylor, and before that, Mark Few at Gonzaga. Picked off by Enos. He's going to go right to the hole, and a left-handed layup is good. And Wes Enos has 10 in the first half already.
And he plays with such force. He shoots the ball efficiently, but he attacks with force, he defends with force, and he is an intense competitor out there today.
Drop off, and Parker goes back out to Moretti. Pintalone, too short at the rim. And the struggles continue for Xander Pintalone.
Not a bad drive, though. Not
Heat check.
Wow.
Wes Enos is taking this team on his back and taking the game over.
He really is. Now, you know he's coming down. You've got to be down in a stance. He's so quick. As we watch Wes Enos come off of this, he's getting threes, he's getting to the rim, he's getting steals. Look, hands down, man down, three-point shot. With your hands down, and that's exactly what's been going on for Florida Atlantic so far today.
He is one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the nation, the only Bull to average more than 30 minutes a game for Brian Hodgson's club. And now with those 3 threes today, this afternoon, he has his 14th game of the season and 9th in American Conference play, where he's made at least 3 triples. He's on a personal 13-point run that's going to end most likely here, since he's on the bench for a breather. Omajafu in transition, no good, no foul.
No foul was the key thing you said there.
Parker off the window. Josiah Parker has his second bucket.
Owen Short just told Brian Hodgson that he went straight up. I didn't see it quite that way, but Owen Short's a good official, so we'll give him a pass on that one.
Still a 5-point USF lead. They come into this game in first place all alone in the American Conference, and Josh Omajafu.
And that's the problem. Every time there's a drive for South Florida, there's 1 or 2 minimum coming to get that tip, and we've already seen a couple of them today. You can't watch the ball when it goes up. You got to find a body if you're Florida Atlantic.
This is an electric offense from the USF Bulls, the best in the American Conference. Through the legs of Nelson, 50-50 ball. Stolen away by Brown. Here's a lob in transition, and Pinion picks it up.
This South Florida team, they are so active with their feet and with their hands, and they've got some incredible fire going after balls right now. The Florida Atlantic has got to be stronger with the ball. They're just giving it to them when it's loose.
Kanan Carlisle, 18 in red, back in the lineup after missing 3 of the last 4 games with a calf injury for John Jacobs and the Owls. They have been 0-5 in those last 5 games.
Well, they got to just get stronger with the ball. We see a loose ball. Pinion throws it up. Not a great pass, but he threw it right back off the board. He gets an assist. Pinion gets a basket. We're giving him an assist over here. I don't know if it's official.
That foul on Isaiah Nelson. All alone, Parker. That's not his strength, and an air ball from 3. Another block for the Owls. There have already been 3 ties and 3 lead changes, but USF's offense is like an avalanche.
Well, it really is right now. There's no hesitation. They throw it ahead. They don't come back for the ball. They look for the open man. This is an area where they're really good on out-of-bounds plays. A lot of creativity, a lot of cutting.
Here's Omajafo working on the freshman. Outside, all alone, Isaiah Nelson. That's the second 3 we've seen from Isaiah Nelson, a guy who makes his living around the basket.
And you want that. Brian Hodgins is doing a great job developing, but at the same time, he trusts him to shoot threes. And if he's going to make it in the NBA, because I think he's definitely an NBA prospect, some coaches would never let you do what you're trying to get better at. Brian is not like that. I like it. That shot does not look bad. But again, we got another offensive rebound on that end.
9.5 to go in the first half. Largest lead of the game for USF. Here's Carlisle, 10 on the timer, the Indiana transfer. Gets it back. Guarded 3, and he's got it.
He is such a pure shooter when he's in the flow of the game. He's improved his passing.
Pinion to the hole, no. Now Moretti in transition to Elohim. He's a mid-range assassin. Now this game's settling down just a bit. USF up 4. 8.5 to go in what has been an electric first half. Wes Enos back on the floor and right back at it, but he's off the mark on that 3. Parker, they go inside out. And Moretti tracks it down, a fresh 20 for the Owls. Inside Williams, almost lost the handle. And now Elohim, 2 feet in the paint. Another offensive rebound. Out of bounds, saved by the Bulls.
Now, good time right here. Good job by Brian Hodgson. Call it, slow it down. Isaiah Nelson is playing so hard that he's starting to get winded. Last possession, they had a lob if he'd have rolled harder.
And you don't usually hear somebody saying slowing it down with the USF Bulls. They're top 15 in the nation in tempo.
No, but he's reading his team, and he doesn't want to sub. I like how he's coaching it.
Carlisle around and out, offensive rebound, and the putback from Devin Williams.
Well, Florida Atlantic's been aggressive the whole game. They weren't great with the ball. They weren't challenging shots great, but they have been active. And every time you think the game's going too fast for Florida Atlantic, they get loose and make a play right now.
Nelson, another rebound. He's got 16 double-doubles this year already. Spin move, beauty of a pass, and Williams pays it off.
But we saw Josiah Parker's skill level right there, Rich, for a freshman. He is just getting better every week inside this Florida Atlantic program. Every week.
A 9-0 FAU run. They're back to tie it up at 25. Here's Omajafo. And he rolls it in off the window. Josh Omajafo, playing in his 121st game, has 6 points this afternoon.
And it was good action because we saw a skip pass, and they don't use the skip pass a ton at South Florida, but that time it created a long closeout, got an open drive into the through the elbow.
Carlisle inside, why not? Devin Williams has the hot hand. He's in double digits.
This is a battle right now. What's happened is Florida Atlantic has figured out the aggressiveness of the game. They're better with the ball. They're stronger with it. They're making good, crisp passes, and the posts are playing more intense inside and doing a better job getting open.
Now a chance for the Owls to get back on top. Moretti can't give him the lead. Tap back. Here's Carlisle with the step through.
Rich, that was high level. That was a high-level step back for a guy that's been out. Kanan Carlisle plays so hard. I've watched him play since he was a 9th grader. He's always played with incredible intensity.
Contested 3 off the mark from Pinion. Carlisle again, not this time. And it's taken away by Isaiah Nelson. We have a timeout on the floor. The man who grabbed that last rebound is gassed.
Oh, they're
Nothing
playing.
new for Isaiah Nelson, who is the epitome of a blue-collar Bull. in the USF Bulls. Why are we showing her? Because she's in charge of tracking some very important stats for this team, the blue-collar stats. And this is a big reason why USF has had such a good run this year. What do we mean by that?
Well, you can see it on the floor with the loose balls and the way they attack. It's all the hustle stats that impact winning. It really is. Like, to me, it was so big with getting deflections and 3 stops in a row and your shot challenges, but it gives everybody a chance to impact winning. It's not about who your leading scorer is, it's about who is making the plays that help each other.
4th 3 of the game for Wes Enos, who has a game-high 16. And you might have seen before we started play again, Isaiah Nelson, 35 in green, on the bench. He's won about 95% of the Blue Collar Player of the Game awards. That's why he's a front runner for American Conference Player of the Year right now.
Oh, there's no doubt. He plays with relentless spirit. And for him to play as long as he did in that stretch was incredible, because he was playing literally on fumes.
Enos turned it over off his high top. And there's Nelson, still catching his breath. Believe me, when the game is on the line, Isaiah Nelson's going to be in the game.
Absolutely. Both of these teams, I mean, it's February. You can never take conditioning and endurance for granted in the season, and both of these teams have it. I mean, the intensity to be able to play this way shows they are in great condition.
Here's Williams. And Devin Williams is having a whale of a first half with 12 points.
Yeah, they're going to have to make an adjustment at South Florida, make it tougher for him to get the ball. He's able to score over the guys that are defending him right now with too much ease.
Williams just 2 points shy of a career high already. His last bucket gave FAU a 1-point lead, under 4 minutes to go in the first half. These two teams met back at the end of January. FAU was up on the road in Tampa at the end of the first half, but then they got their doors blown off in the second half. Vanderpool for 2.
That's a big-time play by Vanderpool, because he dipped his shoulder without charging. He's so adept and so good at using his body to create contact. Obviously, he's learned from his father, David, who's an assistant with the Wizards now. One of the top assistants in the NBA, has taught him well, as is this staff.
Enos off the mark on that 3. He's 4 for 8 from beyond the arc in the first half. I'm sure Brian Hodson would take those numbers any day.
Absolutely.
Amar Amku off the mark. His first action of the afternoon. It's going to stay FAU basketball. Come on back to Boca. It's a Sunshine State showdown in the American Conference. 6 lead changes. USF on the road in first place, and they are in a dogfight right now against FAU in the home red unis. Alongside Tom Crean, I'm Rich Hollenberg. What have you seen so far that's played out in front of us?
Well, that right there was a bad place to put the ball. I mean, just allowed the trap. You got 2 trappers plus the baseline and the sideline. But what I've seen is it's too easy right now for Florida Atlantic to get the ball inside, and they're taking advantage of it. They're getting some matchups inside. But at the same time, South Florida is getting inside those elbows at will.
We'll take a short timeout. Come on back for the remainder of the first half. Of FAU. Here's a 3 off the mark from Elohim. A 3-point FAU lead, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. One of just 2 teams in America, Tom, who have had a 5-game winning streak followed by a 5-game losing streak in conference play.
Now, and that right there is not going to help them because they were not guarding Damian Collins. They had their hands down. They come out of the timeout with a set play to get a back cut. It was easy to throw it to Wes Enos for Damian. There was no pressure at all.
Now here's a double. Vanderpool passes out of it across court to Elohim. And with 10 on the timer, Carlisle will set it up. Top of the key, 3 is good from Kanan Carlisle. He's in double digits with 10.
He plays so low to the ground. He's got such good balance, can take hits, and that time he just stayed in his shot. Great read coming off the ball screen, and a very good screen from Williams.
Pinion to Enos. 18 already for 2 in green, Wes Enos. Lost the handle on the way up. Here come the Owls in transition. Devin Williams threw it to the first row instead of one of his fellow Owls.
Well, there's so much red on the sideline, we might have done the same thing, Rich.
What a big Monday doubleheader we have coming up for you tomorrow on ESPN and the app. Cam Boozer and Duke hosting Syracuse at Cameron at 7 Eastern. Then the matchup of the night in the Big 12, number 3 Houston and number 5 Iowa State. Clones with a big win earlier this week against Kansas. Houston, all they've done is gone 45-5 in their 2+ years in the Big 12.
Well, and that is going to be a great, great game because Iowa State was so good yesterday against Kansas. And they match up so well, 2 tough teams, 2 really, really good defensive teams, but 2 teams that shoot it way better than the average person would think of, with the way that both Iowa State and Houston not only can score in the paint, but make jump shots.
Vanderpool into the paint and draws a foul.
That was a great play again. The skip pass creates the long closeout, especially when you're overhelping in the paint like we had there. So right, here comes the skip. The skip is there. It's a short or longer close. He reaches behind, drives it into Nelson for the foul. Vanderpool going to the line. Great play by Florida Atlantic. Great skip pass to set it up.
Vanderpool, Mr. Reliable on this FAU team, has 5 points. He leads them in points, he leads them in rebounds, he leads them in steals as well. 7 times this year, Devin Vanderpool's gone over 20 points a game.
Well, and both right now, the teams are playing so hard, but the ball pressure is not nearly where it needs to be. Who can finish this last minute plus with some defensive pressure has got a very good chance to go in feeling good about where it's at.
6-point FAU lead. They have neutralized Isaiah Nelson. He's playing with 2 fouls right now and not all that effective. But Josh Omajafo has been, he's got 8.
And again, C.J. Brown down the lane, down inside the elbows. It's too easy for South Florida inside of those elbows to get where they want to go, and it creates so much offense for them, as you saw there with the slot cut.
Here's Carlisle with 10 on the game already. He can't make it 12. Enos the rebound. 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Enos with a game-high 18, 4 threes already for number 2 in green. The pass off the back cut, tracked down, and looked like Omojafo tripped over Caden Carlisle. Devin Williams going to be whistled for the foul. That foul's going to be on Caden Carlisle.
Think about this game. How aggressive has this game been? Florida Atlantic's got 2 fouls. South Florida's got 3. I mean, the referees are, I mean, they understand it's a physical, aggressive game, but it's been a very well-played game.
You can see it. Look at almost every one of the USF Bulls grabbing their shorts at their knees.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want to show that. And I'm sure that's not something Ryan wants them to do. You know, when you never want to show fatigue to your opponent. You want to put your hands over your head. You want to put your hands on your hips. You want to take deep breaths. You want to get your breath back, but you do not want to show fatigue to the opponent, ever.
Here's the veteran Omojafo. Hits the first one.
They just play so hard. I guess they get a pass for that. I mean, this is a hard, these two teams, I mean, this first half has been incredible with how hard they play. And if we have anything close to this in the second half, it's going to come down to the wire.
The veteran Omojafo had 4 points the first time these two teams met in Tampa. He already has 10 today. So shot clock is off, 2-point game. FAU trying to take a lead into the locker room.
They got a chance for a lob.
5 to go, blocked by Collins. Here's Collins with 1 second. And the foul on Devin Vanderpool with 0.5 to go in the first half.
We said the last minute, Rich, was going to come down. The pressure had dropped a little bit. Look at this. Good hand pressure, good challenge, great shot block. Look at the hustle to run this down. I mean, that's a 50-50. Damian Collins gets it, attacks it, doesn't shoot it, attacks the paint. He realizes how much time is there. Big time play. You get a dribble per second. He took advantage of it.
And Collins can't cash it in. This is a South Florida team that is first in the nation in free throws attempted and made.
Well, and what they've done in the last 7 games, I mean, they've made more free throws than their opponents have attempted.
And Collins can't pay it off with that gift of a foul at the end of the half. So we go to the locker rooms. FAU trying to snap a 5-game losing streak, has a 2-point lead over the top team in the American. Now to Ardo Cal and the halftime report. Welcome back to Boca Raton, a Sunshine State showdown in the American Conference, and it's the FAU Owls trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. They're up 2 on the first place USF Bulls. Now, Wes Enos has done everything in his power to keep the Bulls in this game.
Oh,
Tom.
he has, right? Hands are down, hand goes up late, boom. Wes Enos with one of his threes. He had 51 threes coming into this game. He's already got 4 inside of this game. Again, hands down, he's reading it, he's moving his eyes because he's such a good attack guard like this, off drives or off cuts. It gets you tricky on how you're going to guard him with threes.
Alongside Tom Crean, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Tell us what FAU did to have this lead at halftime.
Devin Williams, I mean, they got the ball inside. They did some really, really good things inside of this game. Devin Williams has scored on jump shots. He's blocked shots. He's scored at the rim. Let's watch one action that he did get this, okay, that was so important as we go into this. He's so good at being able to figure out how to get into the matchup, right? So, like, they've done an average job of defending him. But as we see this come on now, we watch Nico Moretti come down. All right, hits Devin Vanderpool, freeze it. Okay, now, as we see this action, all this space is right there in the double team to throw the ball. All right, Devin Williams dives. Okay, he's going to get a matchup right here inside. He scores over it, but it was just too easy. But he was quick to the roll. He didn't hesitate. He didn't waste steps. He's been efficient and effective, Rich, in the first half.
Devin Williams leading the way with 12 points for the Owls, 18 for Wes Enos, number 2 in green for the Bulls. It was an exciting first 20 minutes. This next 20 promises to be just as electric. Omajafu, and he picks up where he left off, a dozen now for Josh Omajafu.
And that was just way too easy. And this is a big lineup, as we talked in the open. When you watch Florida Atlantic now, they've got Carlisle back, but they have not been a great second-half team. It's going to be really important to get off to a good start for Florida Atlantic.
Already 6 ties in this ballgame. There's a 3 from Elohim. He's 0 for 3 from 3. Brown downhill, the leader in blue-collar points in the first half.
And downhill through the what, Rich? Through the elbow. He is so good at getting inside. Again, my friend Amir Abdur-Rahim would be so happy watching what C.J. Brown has turned into. Brian Hudson and this staff have done a phenomenal job making these guys better. It's just amazing.
We will have more on Amir Abdur-Rahim, the former USF head coach, coming up in just a moment.
Look at that drive. I mean, it's just impressive what this kid does. Look at the pressure.
Only 4 points in the game, but he had 9 blue-collar points. How about that 3 from Devin Vanderpool?
Yeah, very good. Devin Vanderpool was lined up. He has a tendency sometimes to fade when he misses shots, but that time he was totally lined up and balanced.
Just the 4th 3 of the afternoon for the FAU Owls. Back on top by 1. And a good save by Josiah Parker. Here's Vanderpool. Had a 3 last time, gets 2 this time.
Great drive, great job pounding the ball, using the backboard, then sprinting back to get his massive matchup, Joseph Pinion.
Left alone, C.J. Brown knocks it down.
They've been going under him. They went under him early, knowing that drive is there, but you can't leave a guy that's hot and get to the basket. That open for a 3.
He had a monster game when these 2 teams met in January 25th. 17, 7 boards, and 7 assists. Nice pass from Williams to Carlisle, and Kaden Carlisle will go to the line and shoot 2.
Very good. They do a great job with spacing. They really do. And Kaden Carlisle coming down out of that left corner. Great pass from Devin Williams.
Well, coming up at 4 Eastern on ESPN, Hannah Hidalgo and Notre Dame hosting NC State. It's also available on the ESPN app. Interesting to note, the FAU men's baseball team started their season off by welcoming the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to Boca.
And that's got to be tough, leaving South Bend in the middle of the winter, coming to Boca Raton. That has got to be brutal.
11 now for Kaden Carlisle, who missed 3 of the last 4 games during this 0-5 stretch for John Jacobs and the Owls. They're just the 2nd team in Division I basketball this year to win 5 games in conference play and follow that up with 5 straight losses. But FAU still has 6 games, including this one, ahead of them. And they're trying to make some noise and break into potentially the top 4 and get themselves at least a double bye going into the American Conference tournament.
I think they could. We've seen what they're capable of in that first half. It's just the second halves. They've given up in those losses. 41 from 3, 54 from 2. They've had some tough stretches. They've had those 4-minute stretches, as Coach Jake has said to us today, that's hurt them.
Parker gets the whistle. And we're going the other way. It's an offensive foul on Josiah Parker.
Great job. Took it right in the chest. Big time play by C.J. Brown. He gets it done on both ends. He's tough. He's physical. He's definitely gained weight. And strength, I should say. Not necessarily weight, but he's gained a lot of strength.
And Coach Crean, let's update the blue-collar chart. That's 4 points for C.J. Brown.
Oh, wow, you're right.
Points.
You're right. I counted charges as 2 for deflections, but 4, that's huge.
There's Isaiah Nelson, who's won 95% of the blue-collar player of the game awards. He gets fouled on his way to the hoop. It was a quiet first half for the odds-on favorite for player of the year in the conference, Isaiah Nelson.
That's a great drive, though. He gets that ball out in front. He attacks. He covers a lot of ground. He's definitely improved since Arkansas State. They've done a great job with building his driving game, his passing game. He's certainly getting better as a shooter, but he just covers so much ground, and he impacts the game on both ends with that relentless energy that he plays with.
3 points, 5 rebounds so far for number 35 in green, Isaiah Nelson. He goes 1 for 2 from the stripe, so it remains a 1-point lead for the Owls with the basketball. Two-pointer rolls off the rim for Josiah Parker. And a chance to regain the lead for the Bulls. Brown leaves it, and it's a turnover for Nelson. Drive and kick. And that's going to be a foul called on 3 green. Isaiah Jones, his first.
Well, it was such a good closeout by Wes Enos because Vanderpool was going into the shot fake. He was looking for the drive. Then they just got too uptight on it.
10 on the shot clock for the Owls. Two-pointer, and that's his office.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, you really, and Devin Vanderpool clearing the corner gave him just a little bit of freedom to get that pull-up.
Isaiah Elohim, one of the best mid-range scorers in the nation. Pinion, no. And it's 1 and done for USF. Here's Williams, why not? Off the mark from the top of the key. Another rebound for Nelson, number 6 for him. Pinion lines it up, knocks it down.
Opinion was due. He's moved really well without the ball. He's got a couple of catches. He's not been hunting shots. Devin Williams was down. Pinion just got it off that dribble just a little bit quicker than Williams' hand could get up.
14th in the nation in three-pointers made, and that was the first of the day for Joseph Pinion. But a traditional three-point play opportunity coming up for the Owls.
some of the best teams in the nation all day on ABC and ESPN.
This is star power from the jump.
A blockbuster triple header Saturday on ABC and ESPN.
Alongside Tom Crean, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Tom, here's a picture of you and one of your closest friends in the coaching fraternity and outside the coaching fraternity, the late Amir Abdur-Rahim, the former head coach at USF. You and I got a chance to call a game for USF last year in Tampa. We're calling this one today. It's always special to have you with this forever connection to this Bulls program.
Well, it'll never leave. My wife Joni and son Riley are actually with Amir's wife Ari and their 3 children today up in Tampa. Brian Hodgson has done a phenomenal job of building, and as Ben did last year when he took over for Amir. Amir had a relentless view for human beings. Never met a stranger. Absolutely had the right plan and was building this program into something just incredible to watch. And I think Brian's doing a really good job of picking that up and continuing to go with that like Ben Fletcher did last year. And Amir has got a legacy that will never, ever be replaced or forgotten.
Missed dunk.
And one of his guys misses it. One of the guys that he believed in early, C.J. Brown.
In his second year with the program, he was part of the American Conference All freshman team a year ago. Coach Crean, sitting to my right, was the head coach at Georgia, and you brought Amir Abdur-Rahim on as an assistant coach. He went on to be the head coach at Kennesaw. Terrific success there, which led to him getting the USF job, and all he did was take them to a title.
Absolutely. Went from 1 win to going to the NCAA tournament in 4 years at Kennesaw, and then what he did at South Florida was unprecedented, incredible, built it, made it just an absolute happening there. And he was a big part of us first year at Georgia. I hated to lose him, but I knew that's what he wanted. A big part of recruiting Anthony Edwards along with Chad Dollar on that staff. And it's just amazing. It really is. But yeah, people now at South Florida, the beneficiary of what he did, Rob Higgins, Lee Butler, Mike Kelly before that, the AD, done a fantastic job building that and continuing to honor his legacy. And
as Amir used to say himself, love wins.
Love wins. I'm wearing the bracelet. I mean, it never gets easy. It never gets easy.
Wes Enos lost his high top on that last possession, so he's lacing one up. I guess he's wearing pink for Valentine's Day weekend,
they look
right?
like AEs. They look like the Anthony Edwards shoes. I remember the day when those shoes broke out and Amir went and bought probably 8 to 10 pair at a Foot Locker.
How about that?
Including some for his son. And last year, his young son Aiden had outgrown the shoes. They weren't selling them anymore, but Anthony Edwards got a pair sent within a week for Amir's son Aiden. That's just little signs that people continue to have for what he meant. But speaking of building something, how about what Dusty May built here? Mike Curry before him had very, very little here. Dusty May came in. I asked him today, I said, what were those first crowds like? He said, just family. Just incredible. And what Dusty May did here, building this up. We come in today, Rich, there was already 100 people, 100 students outside. We come back, there's 1,500 students out there. It's just an unbelievable event, and Dusty May deserves so much credit for what he did here building this up.
Just a few years removed from that magical run to the Final Four. Yeah. Devin Vanderpool's the only remaining member on this roster who was part of that team.
Well, the residuals are still here. Much like Amir with South Florida, the residuals of what the passion that you have to build it is alive and well, there's no doubt.
And now Dusty May, the man in Michigan, the
Absolutely.
#1 Wolverines.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great pass in there. Not enough ball pressure right there from South Florida, but excellent pass on the roll.
Look at that
one.
Woo! The float on the assist from Devin Hade to Damian Collins.
South Florida is always really good in the two-man game, especially in transition. They haven't had a lot of it today, but there was one.
2-point game. It has been a tight one for the majority of this contest. And Carlisle nearly threw it away. Saved by Pintalon. Elohim, 2 feet in the paint, and he goes off the window.
Rich, Elohim has such great balance when he goes up. Obviously, he's strong, but he's got contact balance. He takes a hit, and then he elevates, and he's so good and comfortable around the basket.
Averaging 17 a game in his last 6. Isaiah Elahim has 9 today. Here's Enos. Not a 3, but a 2, and it was pretty darn good.
That's just a big-time play. Went between the legs, pounding the dribble. Guys are using the backboard. I love seeing that, but they're using the backboard in such a way right here, but they're creating angles for themselves against really pretty good pressure.
Another 20-point effort from Wes Enos. He's got a good closeout on Pintalon, forcing the miss. Here's the freshman, Yora, and we're going to call a foul on that one. That's going to be on Nico Moretti, his first.
Now we see this, Moretti comes off. They're active, but just a great roll to the rim. Vincent is right there. He gets a great look at it. Good ball pressure, but a better roll.
Men's Basketball Championship starts March 11th in Birmingham. Watch all the action on the ESPN family of networks and the app. For more information, visit theamerican.org. Alongside Coach Tom Crean, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Coach, 10 teams make it out of the 13. The top 2 teams get a bye all the way to the semifinals. The 3 and 4 seeds get a bye to the quarterfinals. Here's a look at the top 8 teams right now in the league, and USF looks like they are a lock to make that. FAU, though, if they keep playing the way we're seeing them play, they could have a chance at one of those byes.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we walked in today, you'd have never known this was a team that had lost 5 in a row with the energy that was inside of this walkthrough workout at 9 o'clock this morning. But the league is strong. Aaron Fern's doing it at Charlotte. Adam Fisher, the job he's doing has been phenomenal at Temple.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Vanderpool off the mark. Long rebound to Pinion. And here's the game-high score. Wes Enos back to Pinion. Pocket pass. Nelson. Good patience from the big man.
Big-time play. Great execution of the pass from Pinion. I didn't think it was there, but he put enough velocity on it. Great catch by Isaiah Nelson.
Gotta love it. 9th lead change of the day already.
Oh, we got a game. 80 outside, 75 in here. Who's got it better than us?
Picked off by Nelson. Look out below. Back-to-back buckets from the odds-on favorite, American Conference Player of the Year.
What are his blue-collar points for that steal and dunk?
How about that? Seven points, 6 rebounds now for Isaiah Nelson, 35 in green. USF back on top by 2. Float game from Caden Carlisle.
Great job by Carlisle getting that ball up high off the board on that drive with his left hand, left side.
We are tied again in Boca. A scramble for the loose ball. Who wants it? Moretti comes away with it for FAU. Here's Parker. The freshman knocks it down. And a foul called on Joseph Pinion. That's going to be his 3rd.
If you watch this right now, look at Nelson's hands. Look how quick those hands are. That's why he is a legit NBA prospect, because of quick hands and feet, and can play through it. Now we see the next play. Enos comes down the court. They step up in. Oh, he got him right there. He didn't give him the step. He didn't give him the step. Could have gone either way. It's a tough call in a highly contested game like this, but it was accurate.
Isaiah Nelson, the only Division I player in the nation with averaging 15 points, 10 boards, and 3 stocks. What are stocks? Steals and blocks combined. Coaches love guys like that, and that's what Isaiah Nelson delivers.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, and again, he's always active. We said at the beginning, he rebounds out of his area, out of his range. He covers so much ground with his length and with his feet. And he just stays locked in, and he just plays. His endurance to play as hard as he does for as long as he does is incredible.
16 double-doubles for Isaiah Nelson, who's going to take a seat on the bench with his 3rd foul. You know who else has 16 double-doubles this year? JT Toppin, a first-team All-American.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt he's going to play in the NBA for a long time. His efficiency, JT Toppin's second effort, that combination of Christian Anderson and JT Toppin is great. But what they have with Watson, Atwell, and the way Grant McCaslin coaches them, Arizona is great, but that was no fluke last night. Grant McCaslin is a big-time program director.
McCaslin, former head coach at North Texas, part of this American Conference. And they're going to count that basket for USF. So give the bucket to Wes Enos. That's 22 for him. Enos has been doing it all different ways this afternoon. He's got 4 threes and a game-high 22 points. Elohim. Easy for me to say, but if I was him, I would give up shooting the threes and just go inside the arc. Collins fighting below, comes up empty, and it's cleared by Devin Williams. Now Parker, spin cycle. The one more, Vanderpool. Off the mark. That would have taken the roof off the Ellie.
Well, it'll be interesting if Florida Atlantic realizes what they have when they come back down. They're getting some switches. They could get Devin Williams in a roll. It's there. They just haven't recognized it.
8:40 to go in regulation. 11 ties and 10 lead changes in this Sunshine State rivalry. Pinion for 3.
Wow, that release is so quick. He's always had the quick release, but the strength now, the ability to play so many different ways. his college career has been fantastic with his level of improvement.
He's the third Bull in double digits with 10. And that 3 gives the Bulls a 3-point lead.
Watch now this release. That release is so quick. He's closer to sitting in a chair than he is the sideline. Look at that. All right, and it's not like he wasn't contested, but he gets it off. He holds his follow through. He sees the ball through the bucket. Didn't pull his head at all.
Closer to Delray Beach on that 3. 10 on the timer for the Owls. Vanderpool, that's who you want shooting the ball. He matches a 3 of his own.
Vanderpool's in a good rhythm because he's letting defense create offense, and he's playing very, very efficient, which is the calling card when he's at his best.
At 22, the last time these teams met, he has 14 now today. Omajafo gets blocked by Parker.
I'll tell you what, this guy is so good. He is so good. Look how quick he gets up to get this block shot. Josiah comes up, gets it with his right hand. That is a great stretch. He uses every bit of his length. Watch him come out of nowhere. There he is. Pins it right off the board.
Well, thanks for that update. Despite it being bad news for BYU and really the country, BYU Cougars had one of the best trio of scorers in Saunders and A.J. DeMonza and Rob Wright, and now they're going to have to finish the rest of the season without their team leader.
Well, and he's so effective. He probably could have left a year ago and been a second-round pick, and he comes back. He's on this team. What he did in the second half of Kansas was a couple weeks ago was incredible. His ability to move without the ball, get to the rim, get shots, plays hard and active all the time. Hopefully this is just a setback. Obviously it hurts everyone at BYU, but hopefully it's just a small setback in what continues to be a long career, because he has definitely earned it.
Sending good vibes to Richie Saunders and the rest of the BYU program. We've had 12 ties and 11 lead changes in this American Conference rivalry. Here's a three, again, from Vanderpool.
Big time action, Rich. It all started with the skip pass and the shot fake out of the corner. Throwing it, driving it middle, getting it to that slot for a three.
And how about these long-range Owls? 4 for 4 from 3 in the second half. Now Moretti leads the break. Leaves it for Parker. Nice touch off the window.
With the bump, took the contact and still finished.
Streaking down the floor, C.J. Brown draws the foul.
Great shot fake out of the corner, gets in the paint, reads the help, kicks it to Vanderpool for the three. Really, really good play. But here comes C.J. Brown, Mr. Elbow, getting inside of the paint, drawing the contact in the foul.
And Coach, we talk so much about this USF offense, how they're all gas, no breaks. People forget that FAU is built to play that way too. They are a tempo type of an offense.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they've been averaging, even in these losses, I mean, they're averaging 79 points this year in the league. Now, they're giving up 76, but they do a really, really good job of moving the ball. They've got numerous ways to score. And you know what else they do, Rich? They rebound. They're getting 32% of their offensive rebounds in conference.
All of that is what's helped stake them to a 3-point lead over the USF Bulls, who are first place in the American Conference. Winners of 3 straight, 6 of their last 7, but the Owls have their backs against the wall. They've lost 5 straight games to fall to 6-6 in conference play, looking anything like, or anything but, I should say, a team that is against the ropes.
No, they're very confident. I mean, you could see that today. I mean, there's no trepidation in these guys. I mean, they are on it. They're committed to each other. You can just see it. You can feel it.
Isaiah Nelson on the floor, playing with 3 fouls for Brian Hodson. Brown looking for help. Pinion tried to give it to Nelson, who didn't catch the pass. And that one is swatted out of bounds. It'll stay FAU basketball.
It's a great drive. Speaking of committed, Brian Hodson said this team's ability to celebrate each other and be happy for each other's success is unlike something he's ever seen in coaching. He loves it. That's a pretty good play right there. They got a lot of basketball players, maybe not a lot of position guys at South Florida, but a lot of really good basketball players.
Trying to maintain a stranglehold on first place in the American Conference, but they have their hands full on the road in Boca Raton. Vanderpool, and he is in takeover mode. Devin Vanderpool with 19 on the game.
Yeah, it's too easy for him right now to get to his right hand, attacking middle out of that left corner, and he uses contact well. But again, both of these teams, if you give them a step, they've got you beat.
13 second half points for Devin Vanderpool. Omajafo, short on the layup attempt. A rebound by Nelson, but he lost the handle. Carlisle inside, Parker, no. And the Bulls come away with it. Counting down to 5 minutes to go in regulation. Largest lead of the game for either team has been 9. And now it is a 2-point game after that 3 by Joseph Pinion.
Well, Pinion just keeps going. He can back up. He can get it off quick. He's always moving, and you cannot relax at all with your hands because he is looking for you to drop those hands.
That is the 15th time this season he's had 3 or more threes. Vanderpool can't match him with that 3. It goes out of bounds, and USF will have a chance to tie or take the lead.
And again, look at Pinion, all right? Comes off the screen, beautiful shot, curls inside of it, outside that three-point line. It's one of his strengths of his game is his ability to curl, Rich. He's so good curling in the paint or curling for threes. Not only a spot-up shooter, not only a catch-and-shoot guy off driving kick, but coming off screens.
What a 1-2 punch from beyond the arc. Wes Enos and Joseph Pinion. Not many teams can match that killer combo from beyond the arc. Pinion again, heat check three for number 5.
Yeah, you got to know that's coming if you're Florida Atlantic. He's the best at deception of thinking he's coming off a flare, and then he runs right back off the screen. You can never relax when Pinion goes to set a screen or a flare screen.
USF back up by 1. Vanderpool, one-legged jumper, no good, but he saves it at half court.
Yeah, you're down 1 now. You got to get a really good shot right now. You're going into this 4-minute timeout. Really good shot if you're Florida Atlantic. Nothing manufactured.
Bulls in the midst of a 6-0 Joseph Pinion three-pointer run. And as we go to break with 3:53 to go, let's take a look at one of the purest strokes in basketball.
Well, he comes up and he kind of sells you that he's going away, and he comes right back off the screen from Nelson and knocks it down. He's waiting for you to relax so he can knock it down.
Thank you, fellas. They were touching on the North Texas Mean Green. They have the best defense in the American, but we're looking at the best offense in the American. And Tom, they're 5 for 5 from beyond the arc in the second half.
And they're all good looks. They're really good looks. They're moving the ball really well. They're figuring out the game. It's a little different this half. Again, give Joseph Pinion credit He didn't hunt early. He just keeps moving and moving, and all of a sudden he makes one, and now they tell you what Brian Hodgson does. He does a great job of utilizing not only the movement of Pinion, but when he gets hot, he keeps going right to him.
12 ties, 13 lead changes in this rivalry game. Out of bounds, and a foul is going to be called on USF. That's going to go on number 35, Isaiah Nelson, number 4 on the big man.
That's big. Yep, and he got him. It was a great drive, clipped him on the hip, came around him. Vanderpool, again, I've said it 15 times, he's so good using his body, using his feet. He's so well trained, so well schooled on how to use his body, become a better shooter, getting stronger. He's really, it's impressive watching how much better he's continuing to get.
So now Nelson goes to the bench with 3:41 to go and those 4 fouls. Vanderpool hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Florida Atlantic will be shooting free throws on every subsequent Bulls foul.
Now, if you're Brian Hodgson, you're playing time and score as much as you can with Nelson. You want him in there for the defense as much as anything. But now it's so important that you don't rush, you don't force, you don't go in on a shot blocker. Keep getting great spacing if you're South Florida.
How about Devin Vanderpool? We've been talking all day about Wes Enos and his 22 points for USF. Devin Vanderpool has 21 now for FAU.
Yeah, and he's just the efficiency of it, how he gets it. And he doesn't hunt. He just takes what the defense is giving him constantly.
Brown to the dish.
I'll tell you what now, death, taxes, and C.J. Brown is getting to those elbows. Those are my 3 constants in life today. It's unbelievable how good he is getting to the elbow.
He loves the downhill drive, and he showed it there. 3 minutes to go in regulation. 1-point game. And FAU will be going back to the line this time. Number 2 in red, Isaiah Elohim, will be shooting 2. That's the first foul on C.J. Brown.
Watch him get inside that elbow. I mean, he turns the corner. He can drive either way. He doesn't waste any steps. He gets the ball out. He keeps his head up. One of the really good reasons that he's such a good finisher through contact, he does not drop his head when he goes up.
I'll tell you what, Coach, this game has a lot of the same vibes as the first time these teams played on January 25th. FAU had a locker room lead at half by 3, and USF stormed back in the second half. The biggest difference between that game and this one's coming down to the final buzzer.
Absolutely, and again, our job is to forecast the future and forecast the tournaments. I don't think we'd be out of line saying these 2 teams could meet for a championship, and that's taking nothing away from anybody else in the league. These 2 are really good, and they just keep getting better.
1 for 2 for Elohim, and wouldn't you know it, 35 in green, Isaiah Nelson back on the floor, 2:59 to go in regulation, playing with 4 fouls. Let's see if John Jacobs circles that and tells his team to attack the big man.
That's a little easier said than done, because you don't want to get out of the flow of this offense. You just want to try to take advantage of him somewhere if you can get him in a switch.
Pinion can't get it to go from close range.
So that's what Nelson can't do, come up on the ball. You got to get low. You got to be aggressive, but you can't have anything that becomes silly or something where you're out of position if you're going to get your 5th foul.
7 points, 8 rebounds, and those 4 fouls. Now Nelson guarding Vanderpool. Good defense by Brown as he digs down on Parker. And USF clears a chance to take the lead again. Brown, 2 feet in the paint. He fell on the shot, and no whistle. Now 2 minutes to go in regulation. Tied at 70. FAU trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. USF trying to win their 4th straight. Vanderpool threw it away, stolen by Brown. Pinion, open floor, and the follow by Nelson.
Great run, great follow. Read the play, didn't leave the corner, had their hands up. Very good steal.
And wouldn't you know it, Isaiah Nelson has 9 points and 9 rebounds, knocking on the door of double-double number 17 this season.
Big time follow. That's one of the reasons they're so good. They follow it up in transition constantly.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Back in Boca with Tom Green, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Isaiah Nelson, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and playing his heart out. But this is a USF team that only has 3 conference losses, Tom. All 3 conference losses have come by a combined 5 points, and 2 of them have come in overtime.
Amazing. Really is. I mean, they have battled all year long. Brian came in and implemented his system, and they believe in it.
Moretti almost lost it. Here's Parker. 10 on the timer for the Owls.
You got to roll. You got the roll. Nice pass. Oh.
Loose ball. Who wants it? Who's got it? It's USF basketball.
Good play call by John Jacobs. They had it, just wasn't a great pass. Got him on the roll. You could see that coming when he stayed with the ball. Just threw it too low. Good rotation, but it was just too low to make a catch.
And you know who impacted that pass?
Isaiah Nelson.
Correct.
He does so many things. We were talking off air. He does so many things. He stands out by not trying to stand out. He stands out because he just impacts the game so many ways. You never look at him and say, man, why did he do that?
He's been with Brian Hodson 4 years. First 3 at Arkansas State, this year with USF, and is the odds-on favorite to be the Conference Player of the Year. 5 on the timer for the Bulls. Here's Nelson for 3. Too strong. And here comes the freshman Parker. FAU down 2, 35 seconds to go in regulation. 9-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Carlisle, quiet in the second half. FAU trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Here's Carlisle. The pass is deflected out of bounds, bodies on the deck, and it's going to stay FAU basketball, but only 4 seconds on the shot clock.
No, you've got time. There's still plenty of time. You only need 2, so it's not about getting a 3. John Jacobs is good. He did a lot of this work for Scott Drew at Baylor. I mean, he's worked for obviously some outstanding coaches.
FAU and John Jacobs called their final timeout. Come on back for the final 13. Welcome back to Boca. 13.1 to go in regulation between USF and FAU. Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up at 4 Eastern on ESPN, Hannah Hidalgo and Notre Dame hosting NC State in women's basketball. It's also available on the ESPN app. What an electric atmosphere it's been here in Boca, and what a terrific high-level game between both of these teams, playing extremely well this afternoon.
Absolutely is, and you got a great situation here. You got 4 seconds, and with that, you want to make sure you have something that puts pressure on the referees to maybe get a foul before the ball is inbounded, because you're in the bonus. But bottom line is you don't need a 3. You want a clean look. You've got time to get it in to make another pass. You want something going down to the rim.
Moretti's going to inbounds. 4 on the shot clock. Kicked out of bounds. It'll stay FAU basketball. And they took a second off the shot clock. And now the officials are going to go talk about it.
Well, you've got a better angle if it stays up there right now. Whether you have 3 or whether you have 4, you have a much better angle. That's such a tough place to take the ball out of bounds. You're getting a free timeout right now if you're Florida Atlantic while they check this, which plays right into their hands. Jordan Fee's got the board. He's going to draw something up with John Jacobs. You could basically adjust your out-of-bounds play, but this gives them a chance to do something totally different because the ball's above the foul line.
Your officials, Owen Short, Chuck Jones, and Will Howard, and they will discuss.
In fact, the ball was kicked, so it was not a legal touch, which keeps the shot clock at keeps the game clock at 13-1 and keeps the shot clock at 4. Owen Short just told us.
So initially they took a second off. They added that second back. We have had 14 ties and 15 lead changes in this American Conference rivalry.
And Florida Atlantic got all kinds of time to get their play. So now, because of the kick ball, and we go to original 15, there's no shot clock in this. So you basically can play this down for the last shot. If you do that, and it's definitely changed the play, you want to make sure you have enough time to rebound the ball.
Who would you go to in this situation?
Right now, I would get it to Carlisle or Vanderpool, but I would get it on some type of skip pass so they could drive to the rim, have a chance to shoot it or to kick it out.
Vanderpool face guarded by Enos. Got it anyway. Vanderpool for the tie! Last shot time for the Bulls, and they call a timeout. What a finish in Boca Raton. The 15th tie of the game, courtesy of Devin Vanderpool.
Look at this drive. Catches it, little miscommunication. Uses the board. What a great first dribble. Credit the inbounds pass. It was deflected, but Vanderpool gets to the rim in a hurry.
Nico Moretti triggered that inbounds pass. He is scoreless this afternoon, but he's got 9 rebounds and 4 assists, none bigger than the one we just saw to Devin Vanderpool. There's Moretti in the FAU huddle. Take us inside the USFL.
Well, right now they've got ice on Isaiah Nelson's neck, which means he is either spent or not feeling good.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to make sure that he's ready to go. But right now, Pinion is going to be in the play. It's not necessarily about the 3. Pinion could come off a catch. I would look for some type of freeze action where you fake a handoff and drive it. You have people on the outside. Brian has run those type of actions in the past. He's got a vast playbook. You do not need a 3. You need a basket. You need a chance. And here's the situation. You've got to be strong with the ball. Now, they're not going to foul, but they would have to foul in this situation if they want to. And they're not going to foul. All right, they're going to play it out, I would think. Because in this new continuation game, you've got a chance to get a shot off that is highly risky if you foul in this situation. So I would play it out if I'm Florida Atlantic. I would look for some type of fake handoff if we don't come off the double stagger. Get a good look and get it, because your strength is offensive rebounding. Get on that glass once it gets off the board.
They do have fouls to give. FAU only has 5
It's really
team
risky,
fouls
Rich. It's
in
really
the second
risky.
half.
So risky in this time, because in this new continuation thing, if you step into that and you get that shot off and they deem it, that is a tough deal.
Again, USF in first place in the conference, 9-3 in conference play. All 3 losses by a combined 5 points, with 2 of those losses coming in overtime. It's another white-knuckle affair in the American Conference. 7.6 to go, and another timeout called by Brian Hodson. They'll have 1 remaining.
Very well defended by Florida Atlantic. Extremely well. They dropped off the inbounds. Great pressure, great activity. Nothing was free. Really good job of getting in front of people that were looking for the ball. They didn't have it over the top either.
So both teams will huddle up again. Assuming they trigger the inbound this time, Coach, who do you want to have the ball in his hands?
Well, I want everybody to think it's coming to Pinion, and in this situation, I would love to get it to Wes Enos or C.J. Brown at the elbow, which means they have to get a screen and step in. I would try to catch something. You have it. I thought the elbow was open last time. If they flashed in hard, keep an eye on C.J. Brown right here on that left side, flashing up off a screen from Nelson.
Nelson, Pinion, Collins, Enos, and Brown on the floor for USF. Moretti, Carlisle, Vanderpool, Williams.
Keep an eye on your left corner.
For FAU.
There he is.
There's
the
Brown.
freeze.
Guarded by Moretti. Lost the ball out of bounds. It's Owls basketball.
They got the look. They got the look. C.J. Brown came up. They ran the freeze action. Selling the handoff. It wasn't there. He goes to the shoulder. It was there. Great defense by Moretti. You have to turn the ball here, Rich. You cannot let them get a downhill straight line drive and a clean look at the bucket. Every turn equates to 2 seconds.
And it was Devin Vanderpool sticking his hand in there and knocking the ball away. He will trigger the inbounds. 4.3 to go. Touchdown pass. Caught. Scramble for the ball. And we are going to overtime. A wild finish, and now the first place USF Bulls will go to overtime for the 3rd time in conference play.
Well, they've been there, and that's what you're telling your team right now. We've been here, we felt it, we know what this is like. We know what it's like to not be at our best in this situation. We're playing well enough to win. We've got to make sure we don't give them anything easy because we don't have the conditioning or endurance. Both teams are preaching their conditioning and endurance in this situation, that they can outlast the other.
USF already has 5 American Conference road wins under their belt. This would be a huge one and keep them in first place in the American Conference. FAU, their only other overtime game came in their season opener, an overtime win here against Boston College. What a hard-fought, high-level contest this has been.
No question, and now it's all about getting some deep breaths. All right, you put it behind you, you're ready to come out. You're playing, it's basically like playing between timeouts, right? Just 1 minute longer. Everything is about being locked in on each possession. Don't think about the past, don't worry about the future. Stay in each play. Keep doing what you've done to get yourself to this point. Do not try to play hero ball. Do not try to force things that aren't there.
Again, coming into this game, 6 games left in conference play. USF, you would have to call this a stranglehold on first place because it's a jumbled mess atop the American Conference standings. But for FAU, losers of 5 straight, they are just trying to rebound and get into the field of 10. Headed to Birmingham for the American Conference Championship.
Let's credit Commissioner Tim Pernetti. I've done 3 American games in the last 3 years. He's been at all 3 of them. I mean, the guy is tireless with his work. He's done an incredible job building the marketing of this league. Just an outstanding job running the American Conference.
Overtime begins with the homestanding Owls with first possession. Nelson playing with 4 fouls. Lets Vanderpool get by. And it looks like Devin Vanderpool's coming up a little bit gimpy. You have to hope it's only a cramp after playing the majority of the game for Devin Vanderpool. He has 23 points.
He comes in, a little bit of contact, picks it up. Contact there, turns that left ankle. That's why he's in there tying that shoe up. But for him to come back from that, go to the line, very fortunate, because that was not a good turn.
Devin Vanderpool has played about 32 minutes today. He misses the first of 2 free throws. Normally a 78% free throw shooter. .24 for Vanderpool to lead all scorers. A 1-point FAU lead. These 2 American Conference rivals in the Sunshine State trading haymakers all Sunday afternoon. Pinion, 3, too strong. The rebound by Nelson. Patient underneath. He doesn't get it to go, and no whistle.
That's amazing. That was a heck of a rebound. I thought he got fouled on that, but that is a big-time rebound on a good set play for Joseph Pinion.
Nelson's 10th rebound of the game, but the Bulls come up empty.
Credit the referees for letting physicality rule the day inside. They have been consistent with letting them play.
Now Vanderpool again, guarded by Enos. An unguarded 3 from Carlisle. They let him take it, and he missed it. USF looking for their 4th straight win. Enos, 3, got it!
He was open. I mean, he was open. He did a great job. The hands were down, read the situation, stayed in his shot. Big-time shot by Wes Enos.
A game-high 25 for Wes Enos. And his first 3 since the first half. Vanderpool got it again, an open seam for Devin Vanderpool. Can you top this between Enos and Vanderpool? Now Devin with 26.
But the key is that you stay in character and don't look for things that aren't there. No hero ball when you're in a game like this.
3 minutes to go in the first overtime. Here's Brown working on Carlisle. Left hand off the window for Devin Brown.
So good. Again, inside the elbow, spins back, keeps the ball tight. They can't get to it, uses the board.
That was C.J. Brown with the bucket. And now the number 11 in red, Josiah Parker. He has 12. We are tied at 77, the 17th tie of this ball game. C.J. Brown out to Omajaffo. Off the mark on the three. And a foul call.
Good call. They got the push, pushed them in the back. They're fortunate because that was not a great three. That was a fade three out of the corner. Now this is action here where they love to run curls. Watch Pinion curl coming right behind it.
Here's Enos, guarded by Carlisle. No Isaiah Nelson right now. He's on the bench for the Bulls with 4 fouls. Enos stepped through. Saved it. 8 on the timer.
Oh,
and a
wow.
foul on a 3-point shot.
Wow, you talk about making something out of nothing. Watch this, he needed to make the kick. He doesn't make the kick, he keeps it. How, I don't know. Swipe in, come down inside of it.
The foul's going to be on Carlisle, his 3rd.
Some contact, but a pretty good sales job.
Now, I think the crowd was saying that Enos threw the ball up,
there's
caught
no,
it himself.
Yeah, there's no question. It likes to get an explanation on that because I saw the same thing.
Instead, Wes Enos is at the line shooting 3.
They'd have to come back and say the only way that was legal is it was deflected. And I didn't see that.
So a bit of good fortune.
Not much of an argument from Coach Jacobs. So
no.
That's the beauty of the technology now. Somebody was able to tell him it wasn't there.
This is Wes Enos' first trip to the free throw line all game. And this is where USF makes a lot of their hay at the free throw stripe. First in the nation in attempts and makes. And they get an extra 20 seconds out of the offensive rebound.
Those are just the kiss of death if you lose a game, when you give up an offensive rebound off a missed free throw.
So a 2-point USF lead, 1:40 to go. The runner by Brown.
Just, I don't know what to say about him. He's so quick, he's so electric, he can get inside wherever he wants to go and have the presence of mind to get the floater up. Big time move by C.J. Brown.
And that bump on the floor by Joseph Pinion. That's going to be foul number 4 on Pinion. So both teams in the bonus now. And Josiah Parker is going to go to the line and shoot 2. He had 10 points in the first, only 2 after that.
Now, it'll be interesting, 1:20 left. That foul call was interesting. It was a foul, but it was an isolation foul, which is, we haven't had a lot of those today. We haven't had a lot of isolation. So does South Florida come down and try to get something so that they can get to the foul line without their movement?
As a team, FAU 72% from the free throw line. Parker missed the first. Every free throw.
And every block out on the free throw.
So critical. Parker goes 1 for 2. USF a 3-point lead and possession. Counting down to 1 minute to go in the first overtime.
I like the action. We're going to get some Spain action here. Nope, slip lob.
Now Nelson back on the floor with those 4 fouls. Hands it off to Enes. 5 on the timer. Enes, too strong. Nelson knocked it out of bounds, but it's going to be FAU basketball.
Not a great possession right there. Too congested inside of the paint. They were setting up what looked like was going to be a back screen with Enes for the roller. Little congested, tough play. You're not going to get that call late. Good call.
And credit this FAU defense, Tom. It seems like no shot has been an easy shot for USF.
No, not at all. And that was excellent defense. Excellent defense. Like I said, the play was congested. A little easier to guard that type of congestion.
USF with a 3-point lead. 40 seconds to go in this first overtime. Here's Williams for 3. From the top of the key. He ties it up at 81. And a timeout called by Brian Hodson and the USF Bulls. We'll step aside and send things to Arda in the studio with an update.
Cover that play, Arda. It was big time.
Back in Boca Raton, FAU 81, USF 81. We are tied for the 18th time in this game.
Got 2 on the ball right there. They stayed too long with it. It should have been a switch. It wasn't. Great job of stringing out the ball. Devin Williams had time. He had space. He had confidence to knock that down.
And you talk about cojones. That's only the 14th three of the year for Devin Williams.
Open. Hey, he's earned it. The way he's played today, how aggressive he was his first half, he has earned it. This has been such a high-level game. This league is so good. We're trying to give it recognition. It doesn't always get the recognition it deserves. These 2 coaches are outstanding.
This game worthy of a championship game in the American Conference.
Absolutely. This league is so good.
Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. 15 seconds to go in the first overtime. Tied at 81. Now 10 to go. Brown turns the corner and draws the foul with 8.3 left.
Great job. He got a step, got a great screen to get a little bit of that hip, and you just give him, Andy, you give him a 1/4 inch. He can get down that line. Watch the setup. Good screen, takes it on, takes on Parker, gets the shot off. High-level drive.
This is a USF team that leads with intensity, even though they lean on analytics. That intensity on display in this OT.
Yeah, don't let anybody think this is a numbers team. This is a high-level, fighting, fierce, resilient team that understands how the numbers impact winning.
C.J. Brown hits the first of 2. Got them both. Gutsy from the point guard for USF. No timeout called. Carlisle. No, Williams had it stripped by Pinion. And USF goes on the road and takes one from FAU. The first place Bulls remain in first. An 83-81 overtime win against FAU. What a game on a Sunday. For everybody here at ESPN, including Tom Crean, I'm Rich Hollenberg. So long from Boca. one? Okay. All right.